Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be trying a fun art challenge that I think has been going around for a while, but I recently saw it on Casey Golden's channel and it looked like so much fun. I was wondering why I hadn't tried it yet. I thought it was going to be extremely easy, but it was actually a challenge to come up with what to turn the blobs into. So I definitely recommend that you all try it if you're bored or you're looking for a new drawing exercise. I am uploading a video every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. This week may not have a Tuesday because it's going to be crazy hectic with moving, but I will be back on Friday with probably an empty apartment tour video, so stay tuned for that. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up in case I go MIA on Tuesday. If you never want to miss a new upload, be sure to subscribe, turn bell notifications on, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter because I update on those places all the time right when I upload, so you guys can be the very first to see. If you do enjoy this video at any point, please give it a thumbs up to let me know and help it get spread around to recommended. Now, without further ado, let's get on in to the artwork. Okay, so now I'm getting this last paint blob finished up and it's time to turn them all into something new. Looking at these, the one on the far left is absolutely going to have to be a bird. It kind of reminds me of a flamingo. I know the neck is a little bit thicker, but I'm making it into a flamingo. I am using a Faber-Castell fine liner and I'm using the extra small tip, so it's very, very fine. I started at the beak, then I went in with an eyeball and I'm outlining the head and the neck area. And I'm actually just gonna make him into a very short bird, a very small bird. And I gave him some feather texture on the back and a little wing. Then I am giving him some long legs and one's gonna be crossed behind the other like this. It kind of looks like he's sitting instead of standing, so we'll just go with that. And now the flamingo-y type bird is done and I'm gonna move on to the next one. So for this, it looks like a baseball bat. I mean, to me, that's what I saw right away, but we're gonna take it a step further. Any of you guys who are into The Walking Dead and watch that, you already know what I'm doing probably. I'm turning this into Negan's sidekick, Lucille. So I'm wrapping barbed wire around it and then I'm going to outline the entire thing after putting on all the spikes. I know there's a lot of people who stopped watching The Walking Dead. These past couple of seasons at least have had a lot of dull episodes. The storyline wasn't really moving along as quickly as it should have, I guess, but I stuck with it. Craig and I are all caught up, so we're waiting for the new episode to come out tonight. Basically what I'm getting at is it started getting better, so if you guys did step away from the show, I would recommend going back to it. Next, I thought that this one kind of looked like a porcupine or a hedgehog, so I decided to turn it into a Pokemon. This is actually not one of the Pokemon that I'm really familiar with because I just collected the first 151 when I did the Pokemon cards as a kid, and I didn't really get into the next generation, and now there's so many others. But anyway, this is Shaymin. I think that's how you say the name. The reason that I am familiar with this Pokemon is because I'm obsessed with hedgehogs, so it kind of looks like a hedgehog. This one I messed up so badly on. This is what happens sometimes when you're working with ink and not having a pencil to erase. So things are permanent when you do this, unless you do what I did and move the face from that top area to the middle and then just go over it with a darker pen and color it in with colored pencil. This is to mask the mistake that I made. Oh my gosh, yes, this one I'm not super happy with, and I wasn't planning on using any colored pencil for this. The reason though that I didn't use acrylic paint, which would have covered up everything, is because I still wanted to be as true to the challenge as possible by actually seeing the watercolor splatter underneath. Something else about this challenge, I did try to do all these facing the same way, but as you go on, it may not be beneficial or you may not get the best results if you don't turn the paper and make your drawings go in different directions. So for this one, I did end up turning it to get a skull shape. This looks exactly like a human skull to me. So I did the outline and, you know, all that good stuff. I looked up a reference image, you know, to get all the shapes of the bones right. And I think that this actually turned out to be one of my favorites on the page because it's so true to the shape of the splot. This one I thought of long, flowy, kind of wavy hair, so I'm turning this into a girl looking away. It looks a little bit off, I guess, in terms of like why is she turned that way, but it works. And this really reminds me a lot of Debbie from the Wild Thornberrys. Her hair is all poofy and crazy and over her face a lot anyway, so That's who this is, but I did just put a generic tank top on, and that's it. Now moving on to this one, I kind of wanted to do something different with this one. Instead of just using the blob as a single item, I wanted to make it a scene because I thought it looked kind of flowy like a river. So I'm making this into a river bank. I'm drawing grass to come over the rocky or dirt side of the water, and you can see that my pen is messing up a lot. I'm having a lot of trouble this whole time with the ink not flowing correctly. I think what's going on is I am using my older watercolor paints that I have from the 1970s. In my opinion, I like them better than the current Crayola watercolor out there on the market, but for some reason I think it does not agree with the felt tips of the fine liners. Alright, so yeah, you could see that I finished this off by putting in bushes and a tree that just goes totally off the entire blob. I thought that that was a fun added element, and some extra bushes over there that just have a white background. You may recognize him already from Donkey Kong. The shape was just perfect, and oh my gosh, here's the struggle again. I even switched to a micron fine liner, and it's doing the same thing. So I think the powdery pigment of the paint is probably just blocking the ink from coming through the tip. I had to scribble on a separate sheet of paper, a scrap, a lot to get it to keep flowing. Or you could use marker instead of paint as your blob to begin with. So I finished him off, made him look hairy, put some texture in, and I also did his tie, but I didn't put the DK. Okay, moving on to this one. I thought it looked like a cute little pony. At the bottom it looked like 2 legs, but I did end up splitting them into 4, and then a tail and a big snout guy. And I did draw a little bit over on the top, but I turned that into a spot. And actually I forgot to record this completed, so I am just going to put a little clip in here of it done. But I did move on to the next one, and I thought this looked like, you know what, I was actually very thrown off for this. I thought maybe I could turn it into a shell, or, you know, I'm not really sure, but I ended up turning it into a hot air balloon. I thought that that looked like a very hot air balloony pattern, and I put a little basket and some clouds. Then this I thought was pretty unique and creative. This looks a lot like water. I know I already have a river scene, but it was too perfect to not turn into wavy water that the hot air balloon is flying over. So I did a little fish jumping out and just outlined it and put some flowy lines. Next, I was really stumped on this one too. Well, actually, okay, I take that back. I wanted to turn it into a bird because it does look like the wings are spread out and there's a tail and a head, but I didn't want to do 2 birds on the page, so I decided to turn it into a ghost that is boxing. So he has boxing gloves on. I don't know how this comes to mind. Really, it's the weirdest thing ever, the most random. And I did go back and watch Casey's video after I did this, and I realized that she said in her voiceover that everything looks like a ghost, and I really didn't even think of a ghost until this one. This last one is pretty fishy looking, so I turned it into a female kissy lip face, or a guy with long eyelashes, which, you know what? Guys, actually, a lot of them have super long eyelashes. For instance, my fiance has better eyebrows than me, which is absolutely not fair. Like, he hardly has to pluck anything or tame them. Mine, if I didn't take care of them, would probably be semi-unibrow, and they'd be like all over and bushy and nasty. So there we have a fish. In the comments section below, let me know what your absolute favorite design that I created in this video is. Let me know which blob is your favorite. Also, if you had different ideas that you want to share with me of what you would have turned one of them into or a few of them into, then let me know that as well. So this is really cool. I think if you're a teacher or maybe even at a birthday party, if you want to print off the same ink blot image for everyone, make a copy of it, just see how different everyone's is if they don't look at each other's. It's really cool to see how everyone's brain and mind is just so unique, and you know, all the experiences that you've had in life or just like kind of what you're into at the moment is gonna play a huge role in what you see when you look at these blobs. Sarah, the psychologist. No, I'm really not. By the way, I do have a giveaway going on. If you have not seen my Wreck This Journal 20 episode, go check that out if you want to win a Wreck This Journal and some Tombow markers. I'm going to link some fun videos over here and in the iCard so you guys can check them out if you are not caught up on my most recent uploads or you're new here. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you back here very soon, probably on Friday this week. Bye!